So hey guys, this is going to be the Real Housewives of Atlanta recap. You missed me last week, or I missed you last week because school got in the way and life got in the way and I had some stuff to do and like filming just wasn't even an option. So this is going to be a recap of episodes 4 and 5. I'm going to try and synthesize them all together to like make this video very like to the point. But we're going to start off with episode 4 first and like all the things that stuck out to me in episode 4. In episode 4, we see Todd approach Candy about the way she's conducting her business and how she needs to be on top of her employees, etc. And what I have a problem with is that Todd should really mind his own business. And it's evident Todd has too much time on his hands, right? Because you're so concerned with Candy's affairs instead of focusing on your own projects. I feel like if Todd had an issue with the way Candy was running her business, he needs to tell Candy and then have Candy express those concerns to her employees. Like, Todd is not the boss. Todd is not the one signing people's paychecks. So therefore, he really should not have a say in what's going on. Because I feel like, how am I to listen to your opinions when you're not my boss, almost? And I totally understand that's her husband. He has a right to feel whatever type of way he feels. But at the same time, he needs to direct it to the head honcho, who is Candy. Also going along Candy's storyline, her manager, like her right-hand man, Don Juan, he has the right to express his feelings. In this episode, he was going off of the list of how like he wasn't at his mom's wedding, he wasn't at his mom's birthday because he was there for Candy.
Even go to my mother's wedding, but I planned yours. Do you understand? I missed my mother's birthday, but I was in LA for yours.
And while I think that, you know, he has complete right to feel however he wants to feel, he shouldn't be expressing those things to Candy, especially not at that particular time, because that's kind of like guilt tripping her, and you're only bringing it up because you're upset about the situation. Like, if you was mad you was finna miss your mama's birthday, you should have said that at your mama's birthday. Like, you should have been like, Candy, I'm missing my mom's birthday because I'm going to be here with you. You feel me? Like, I'm sure he's getting paid quite well, because I don't feel like Candy will be one to skimp her employees. So, like, don't try and guilt trip her into feeling some type of way. Also, when Candy and Todd, not Candy, when Todd and Don Juan were talking, Todd makes the point that Candy should be doing something with Obama.
If y'all trying to get her to the next level, y'all sit down and y'all structure a plan. Where's Candy going next year? We got a black president. She ain't did nothing with Obama. She's not doing
Candy has sex toys. Are you serious?
Now, Candy is a very smart businesswoman, and I think Candy has done exceptionally well for herself, especially being just a product of a 90s group, and she has blossomed into a millionaire with an empire, like, just so wide. But to do something with President Obama, what would she do? Promote sex education? I mean, that's a good idea. So, Candy, don't act like I didn't give you the idea. But, like, what would she be doing with President Obama? Like, I just don't know. So, for him to say, like, that was kind of weird. Because what would Candy Burris from Escape have to do with our national agenda? Please give us suggestions, Todd. I would like to know. Also, in episode 4, it wasn't really much tea. But Cynthia makes the claim that she will never be friends with Nene again. So we're just gonna fast forward to episode 6, because that seems like that might change. We don't know. But so she makes those claims. I don't know. Another shocker in episode 4 was that Nene says she would, she believes that Apollo is lying about lying. So all of the girls go to the spa, and Candy brings up the fact that Apollo lied, and Nene, you know, makes this statement that she believes Apollo is lying about lying just to get back at Phaedra.
Oh, please. Girl, she told me to talk about Apollo. I don't believe it for 1 second. I do
You don't
not.
believe what?
I don't.
So you believe he lied about lying? He said it out his own mouth that he lied.
I don't believe Apollo.
I don't believe
The
it
reason why I
either.
don't, because I just think he's trying to be mean to Phaedra.
So
So what I agree and disagree with this. I feel like Apollo's timing definitely is to get back at Phaedra. The timing of exposing himself to be a liar was definitely to be hurtful to his wife. Additionally, I'm almost Team Nene with this one because I don't feel like Kenya fought hard enough for somebody lying about her. Like, if you're lying about me, I am going to go to the ends of earth to make sure that you know you're lying about me and that's not right. Like, never would I let a lie go on for 2 whole years about something I've didn't do. Like, that's just not gonna happen. And I think it's just, I don't know, that's just a weird, sticky situation to me. And like, I think it's so weird that somebody could lie on you for 2 years and you don't fight to kill the lie. And I don't know, maybe that's just me. So also in this episode, Apollo sits down with Peter at bar 1 to kind of talk about his marital status and situations. And let's first address that Apollo is stressing because he downed that tequila so fast.
But check this out, let me ask you something. You always go hard.
Like, baby boy, you're that stressed. Like, tequila ain't no joke. And I mean, I understand why people drink it. I understand how people drink it, but to drink it like that, like, bro. But anyways, he talks about how Phaedra used to come by when he was sleeping on nothing but an air mattress, and she used to be down, and all of that stuff. And it's not surprising for him to say all these things because at the end of the day, this law degree toting Southern Belle did marry an ex-con. So like, it's pretty obvious that she used to be down. Like, she seems like the ride or die, obviously, if she gonna put her whole life on the line to marry somebody that's got felonies. So, I mean, it's not surprising. And lastly, in episode 4 that stood out to me was that Claudia Jordan felt the need to sit down with Portia to discuss her feelings about Portia reacting to her, as well as trying to be a mediator between Kenya and Portia. And I honestly believe Claudia should just leave it alone. There's no need for you to intervene in that mess that is Portia and Kenya. In my personal opinion, when you fight somebody, there's no coming back from that. You can't be friends, you can't be buddies, you can't kick it, you can't be cool. You can be cordial, you can speak in public, you can say a hi and bye, Chuck Deuce, and that's it, but you're never gonna be friends. So like, trying to mediate friendships after somebody that has fought, even though that's not even a real fight, what they had, that was just like typical hair pulling. But at the end of the day, there's no coming back from that. Like, if I put my hands on you, you put your hands on me, we never friends. And we could talk, we could be buddy-buddy, but I mean, we can't be buddy-buddy. We can speak, but there will never be no like, hey girl, what you doing? Let's kick it. Bop, bop, bop. Nope, none of that. Then at the end of episode 4, Kandi and Kenya are at the boxing ring, and Kandi apologizes to Kenya for, you know, getting caught in the hype of the issues between her, Apollo, Phaedra, etc. And then Kenya has this emotional breakdown where she storms into the bathroom and she's crying because she's tired of people throwing dirt on her name, etc., etc. And I don't know, something about that scene and her emotional breakdown just was not authentic for me. Partly because cameras are on, and also because it just seemed as if her breakdown came at just the right time. She storms into the bathroom, first off, at first the bathroom door is closed. You can't see what's going on behind the door. Then all of a sudden there's this strategic crack in the door where you can see her. You can see shots go to Candy. Then they go back to her. And then it just seems so like, I don't know, it just seemed real fake. I didn't personally see a tear fall. I didn't see any of that. Maybe they did. Maybe just was poor camera lighting angles, etc. But that whole breakdown to me just, and I don't know if it's because I just really don't like Kenya on this show. I don't know about her in person, but on this show I just really don't like her. So I don't know if that was just my bias of me being like, girl, bye. You know, I just really wanted to slap a girl, bye. Bye, Felicia. Girl, bye. All through, up and through that. So I don't know, maybe that was just, so let's just go right into episode 5. And first we're gonna talk about Cynthia. Poor Cynthia, because Cynthia wants to look like the big bad wolf and she ain't got it in her. She's in front of her mom and like Peter, and she's got on this hard front like, man, I don't owe Nene nothing, blah blah blah, with the whoop. And then she get in front of Nene and she quiet as a mouse. And I just, I'm sure she has a very strong personality. I'm sure if necessary she can stand up for herself, but she can't stand up next to not a monster, but like Nene has such a big personality and she just overpowers all of Cynthia. Like Cynthia would never be able to compete with that. I have to say I absolutely love Candy's aunts. Candy's aunts need a spin-off show. Andy, make it happen. Candy's aunts are like the cutest old people in the world. It's just so funny because they have such like strong opinions and that southern wit and those like southern sayings, and like I just love Candy's aunts. So Candy goes to lunch with her aunts and they're sitting up talking about how Candy went to her old house, which she was initially going to give to her mom, but her mom didn't want it because the house wasn't in her name, which made me side-eye because just go get the title changed. But whatever. So Candy's mom's boyfriend had gutted the house gutted all the bathrooms, was supposedly remodeling, and it just looked a mess in that house, and that's terrible. So Candy and her aunts are sitting there talking about it, and Candy was like, if Todd had done something like that, it would have been like all hell would have broke loose, but her boyfriend can get away with those things. And so they aunts are just cackling and all this other stuff. What was also eerie in that scene is that they started talking about the relationship between Mama Joyce and Todd's mother, who I don't remember her name, but they kept saying that they want them to get along. And if you guys do not know, Todd's mother recently passed away due to a stroke. And so I really hope that Mama Joyce and Todd's mother were able to put their differences aside prior to this, because that's just so unfortunate, because you really don't know how long life is going to be. One day you're here, one day you're not. And if they didn't resolve those issues, that's just gonna be like, that sucks, you know? And not to say that it was necessary, but it could have been at least something that they could have gotten over in a timely fashion. And I hope that they did. So I don't know. Rest in peace to Ty's mother, and I'm sending all my condolences to his family. So the big scene of last night's episode, which is episode 5, was the dinner scene. Candy situated all the women to get together so that they can hash out the issues within the group. And so she wanted to kind of discuss Phaedra, Kenya, Apollo situation, as well as Nene, Cynthia situation. Which is kind of weird is that Portia, Kenya situation was not talked about at all. I guess people was just like, you know what, it ain't no sense in wasting oxygen about that, which there's no sense in wasting oxygen about that. So at dinner, and by the way, Phaedra has been looking really good lately. I don't know if stress is just doing her body well or what the tea is, but she's been looking really good. So at dinner, she and Kenya were discussing their issues, and basically Phaedra did not apologize, which I don't think she should have. She did the right thing in expressing her sentiments on how she felt from, you know, the other angle. Apollo situated in the middle with Kenya on this side, Phaedra on this side. So she expressed, like, you know, if it act like a duck, quack like a duck, plug and look like a duck, it's a duck, right?
I hear you mumbling under your breath.
I called you a whore and I called you a slut because if it look like a duck, it quack like a duck, and it's yelling, it's swimming, it's a duck.
And I agree with that. You can't try and convince me that you weren't in the wrong when you were displaying all types of actions that would lead me to believe you was messing with my husband or trying to mess with my husband. So I completely agree with Phaedra's side. The two decided to just like clean slate and they're kind of over it. And I think this is finally might be the conclusion of this whole storyline. It's gone on for way too long. I no longer care if she was messing with Apollo or if she wasn't messing with Apollo. That's not my concern. If she wants Apollo, that's not my concern. Like, I honestly believe that if Apollo had the chance, he would still mess with Kenya, because how you carry on a life for 2 years, obviously you want her. The whole pity play in Anguilla, even when they went to Mexico after your wife said, don't talk to my husband alone. Like, it just, Apollo probably secretly wants Kenya, and he's married to Phaedra and he's stuck. So Nene and Cynthia tried to hash out their differences, and I don't think there's any coming back from that. On the outside, it looked like a genuine friendship, but I don't think you can really repair all the damage that has been done. They were doing a bit of a back and forth, even though Nene was controlling the conversation, and poor Cynthia, she was drinking like a fish because she couldn't keep up, and she just knew she was about to face a beast that she was not going to be able to tame. Nene is too much of a woman up against Cynthia, and Cynthia doesn't have the willpower and the strength to go back and forth with a domineering figure like Nene. Like, there's just no way there's no way. So that's quite unfortunate. I think they have a lot of hashing out to do off camera, because they obviously don't want to put everything on forefront in front of the camera. So like, if you're gonna get it together, get it together. If not, you know, you're not. Like, just give it up. You know, at this point, you don't have to keep rehashing and hashing over the same situation. My personal opinion. That part of the conversation is to be continued on next week's episode, and it seems like in the preview that the other girls leave to kind of give just Cynthia and Nene the table, which I think is the most perfect idea. If you don't want the other girls to be involved, keep them out of it and just focus on you two, and like get to the bottom of it if need be. I don't know. See you in the next one. Peace.